What's up, everyone? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron, and today we're going to be checking out the new album, The Generation of Danger, by the band Tallah. Tallah was formed in 2017 by Mike Portnoy's son, Max Portnoy, who also plays the drums. Max asked bassist Andrew Cooper and guitar player Derek Schneider if they wanted to start a band, and of course they said yes. They were also joined by two rhythm guitar players and landed on YouTuber Justin Bonitz, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, as the vocalist. And they would release their first EP, No One Should Read This. And their lineup would also change a few times leading up to their debut album titled Metriphagy, I believe that's how that's pronounced, in the year 2020. And Tallah has been highly celebrated. I got a few requests asking me to review Metriphagy when it dropped, and unfortunately, I was just never able to get around to it. And when I started this review, I found out that Justin Bonitz was the vocalist, and admittedly, he's not really my favorite person in the whole world or my favorite vocalist. So I don't know, I was kind of turned off, but I also told myself that I would not let another one of their albums slip past me again, especially since the Generation of Danger is getting a lot more praise than its predecessor, and I just got to see what all the fuss is about. The album opens up with the song Mud Castle. The intro is pretty chaotic and haunting. A droning guitar comes in as the panic vocals turn into a low growl. The riff is sick as hell with a buzzsaw kind of guitar tone. The vocals are maniacal, which is basically my experience with Justin Bonitz. He's pretty gaspy, I guess you can say, as he takes a lot of deep breaths that are very audible. Then we have the song The Hard Reset. It comes in heavy with I don't really want to say it, but it's kind of a genty sounding riff in the verse. The vocals have a bunch of variety and a lot of different techniques being used. The chorus is fantastic thanks to just how casual it is compared to the rest of the song. And the vocals turn kind of rappy in the bridge, complete with a turntable which shows up multiple times throughout this whole album. Gotta admit, wasn't a huge fan of the bridge, but the breakdown that comes after it hits so hard, and the outro is extremely groovy and so heavy. Stomping Grounds has a brilliant drum beat that really lets the guitar evolve over it. The vocals are very much in your face. However, I'm not really feeling the overall performance of them. The chorus is a good hook, and the transition into the bridge is fantastic, and the breakdown is so freaking good. It starts slow and really brutal, but then it starts to pick up speed, and then it just slowly forms into a chorus without you even really knowing it. And it's absolutely beautiful. Probably like the second best moment on this entire album. Then we have the song The Impressionist with lots and lots of dynamics from the guitar in the intro. The chorus for me was just, I don't know, it's just kind of okay. Honestly, the music between the verses and the chorus are one of my favorite parts on this album. The bridge has a suspenseful build-up to it. While I didn't really care for the vocal performance that much, the music was just absolutely nasty, and the drums leading into it was a really nice touch as well. Shaken Not Stirred has an incredibly stompy intro, and the lead guitar has this swelling effect on it that kind of hangs out behind the drums, and the rhythm guitar adds a lot of depth to this song. I'm really glad they brought that intro riff back in for the pre-chorus, and the chorus sounds great with huge chords, and the vocals actually sound good in this with their vocal layering and all that. The bridge is one of, again, the best moments on this entire album, and the outro is aggressive as balls. Then we have the song For the Recognition, where I really enjoy the message of this, where it's all about fighting for your dreams. But if there's any example of why I don't like Justin Bonitz's vocal style and his performances, this is it right here. The music really outshines the vocals for me. I don't care for the high-pitched kind of breathing and just noises that he's making, but the groove at the end of verse 1 is just absolutely insane, and the chorus sounds so good as well. The vocals in the bridge are really gnarly and expected, and they sound great. The guitar in the chorus creates this really cool harmony, and the hardcore style breakdown towards the end would have been so much better if it didn't sound like Justin was having like an asthma attack behind it. Of Nothing has a really creepy intro thanks to the psychotic sounding vocals and the drums, and I actually really enjoyed the vocals in the verse. The buildup is absolutely perfect. You don't even realize it's happening until it's too late, and the climax just hits you, and the song plunges into chaos going into the outro. Dicker's Done has a bass line that just rips. It's so hard to hear in the intro, but it's just so good. And it starts out with a guttural growl, which would have been really great if that style of vocal continued, but then it switches over to more highs and squeals and shrieks, and the chorus was good, but it felt kind of old and dated. It's reminded me of something that like late 2000s nu metal bands would have been doing. However, it does change for the better in the final chorus, and the outro is a really nice switch and change from what you've been hearing throughout the rest of the album. Telescope explodes as it goes into the verse. The chorus has an amazing groove to it, and the vocals have a rap style in the verse, which I actually didn't mind all that much this time around. The bridge has almost like a chorusy quality to it just because of how, I guess, hooky and catchy it sounds, and the outro becomes really atmospheric, which was unexpected. I enjoyed quite a bit. And then it jumps straight into the song Windrin, and the vocals are very much out in front, right in your face. It takes a sudden turn with this weird vocal effect and like marching band style drums that really never shows up again. The chorus is epic as it drops down into verse 2 with a low vocal growl that sounds just beautiful. The chill kind of westerny sounding bridge was fantastic. However, the vocals, I know I keep reverting back to this, but the vocals just ruined it for me because of how theatrical they sounded. And the last chorus was quite a bit better than the first one, thanks just for the passion and the buildup that it had. At first, kind of has this metalcore groove to it, and the chorus is super catchy, even though it manages to stay really crazy. And I love the progression of the song. It just keeps going and going, and it keeps its core sound throughout the entire thing instead of just constantly changing like a lot of the other songs. And it really makes this story feel like it's progressing and you're reaching the climax of what's going on lyrically and just the overall music, and you can really feel it in just their overall performance as well. Then we have my favorite song on the album, Thistle. It starts out with blast beats and clean vocals. They're just so powerful in the verse. And even though the music throughout this whole album is pretty random, the overall songwriting and technique are pretty much the same up until this point, except for, of course, the interlude and the song Windred. The verses even have a different vocal style as well. That was a really nice change. Same with the breakdown. It's just they took a different approach to this song. And for me, it was a nice breath of fresh air. And then we have another one of my favorite songs on this, which is the closing track, How Long. It's got this acoustic guitar and clean vocals. The lyrics were phenomenal. I was hoping that the song would stay this way, but it doesn't take long for the vocals to start to pick up in speed. However, it still wasn't a bad song. The climax was epic, and it's a brilliant closing track for this entire album. And this is one of the songs that it had vocal techniques I didn't really care for, but I still found myself enjoying it quite a bit. I really enjoyed the storyline in this album. I believe it's about a guy named Dr. Dickers who did a bunch of really messed up experiments. It's pretty dark and kind of nasty at times. The instrumentation throughout this album is absolutely ridiculous, to say the least, and the production is really raw. However, I didn't care that much for the turntable usage. It became a little overdone. It felt like they were relying on it just too much in certain areas. It became kind of predictable. I don't really have too many complaints about this album, except for two. The first one you guys already know are the vocals with Justin's high-pitched gasps, his squeal noises that he does. I got really tired of his rap style vocals. All these things are kind of just trademark Justin. There's just so much I could listen to before I just don't want to hear it anymore, if I'm going to be honest. Also, my second complaint about this is it feels just so bloated. I mean, every song was really long and it didn't feel like it needed to be. The average song length on here is about 5 minutes long. And it would have been closer to 4 minutes if you cut down on all of the random noises that Justin was making amongst all the different music and stuff. And I understand that he is supposed to be portraying like this kind of crazy doctor, but at the same time, this is just how he sounds in general when he's usually singing. And I've never really been that big of a fan of it. So with all that said, I got to give The Generation of Danger by Tallah a 7.2 out of 10. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate mail for that rating, but I want to know what you guys think. I know it's album of the year for so many people, and unfortunately the vocals, I try to look past things like this, but I couldn't do it. It was such a strong presence throughout the entire album, and I just couldn't get into it because of that reason. So yeah, let me know what you thought of The Generation of Danger. Let me know what you would rate it and what your favorite song is. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give it a like. If you want to help support me and my channel, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. Doing any of that stuff helps me out tremendously, and I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to me talk about music, and I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this, and I will talk to you guys next time.
I was trying to make it relying on